When a French cannot speak English, Africans respect him. When a Spanish cannot speak English, Africans respect him. When a Chinese cannot speak English, Africans respect him. When a Portuguese cannot speak English, Africans respect him. But guess what? When an African cannot speak English, Africans disrespect him. When an African cannot speak English, Africans term him or she a joke, an illiterate dump. When an African cannot speak English, he or she is considered as an idiot, as a fool. Who did this to Africa?
When they move from Europe to Africa, they call it discovery, voyageur. But when we move from Africa to Europe, they call us illegal immigrants. A group of Africans in Europe, they call it refugees. A group of Europeans in Africa, they call it tourists. A group of Africans in a bush, they call it poachers. With a group of Europeans in a bush, they call it hunters. Black people working in a foreign country, they call it foreigners. White people working in a foreign country, they call them expatriates. This world have failed Africans, or have Africans failed ourselves? Food for thought.
Who did this to Africa? That's the level or extent of damage we have suffered as a people. We use English as a yardstick to measure intelligence of our own people, even our own children. Who did this to Africa? In our schools, our children are meant to believe they are stupid just because they cannot speak a language which is alien to their ancestral roots. Who did this to Africa? Dear Africans, put an end to this mental slavery. Teach your children how to speak their mother tongue. Allow the locals to speak their native languages freely without any stigma. Please do not help the oppressor to extend their oppression upon our people. Please, Africans, please. And if you come across this post, click and share. Let the message sink. God bless you. God bless Africans. I love you all.
In fact, this thing is really serious. Yes, I had an opportunity to speak with a lady from Angola. Yes, I think it was 2017, and I was studying Portuguese in Brazil. So for me, it was an opportunity to speak with somebody that really speak Portuguese. And if you have had an experience with, the two countries, Brazil and Angola, you realize that the Brazilian Portuguese is a bit different from the Angolan Portuguese. You see, because all those countries in Africa that speak Portuguese, okay, their Portuguese is considered to be the Portugal Portuguese, okay, the Portuguese from Portugal. So for me, it was good. I started a conversation with this lady, and man, the lady wanted, she made me feel bad. I was so embarrassed. Yes, because throughout the conversation, what the lady was telling me was that the Portuguese that I'm speaking is whack, and that the best Portuguese was the Portuguese from Portugal. In fact, it was getting boring. I had to stop. I had to find an excuse to really end the conversation. So I started asking myself, but why? Why is she not paying attention to the content of the conversation, but rather trying to judge me on the kind of Portuguese I speak? So you see how far we can go with our own people because I'm unable to speak the Portuguese from Portugal. I'm speaking a different Portuguese that she is not used to. She thinks it's a whack Portuguese that I'm speaking. Well, that's okay. So what Town Crier is saying is really what is happening. In fact, if you have also had the opportunity to live with the French people, those that really come from Africa, okay, and I mean maybe they are studying outside, they have this competition as to who really speaks well French. But you see, at the same time, when you compare the French they speak to the French people speak in France, you realize there is a difference. So you ask yourself, what exactly do they want? Are they the owners of the language? So this is exactly what we have been doing to ourselves. We judge people based on their level or how they speak English. We use English as a yardstick to really judge people. This is happening in Africa and outside Africa. Even if when we travel, we want people to know that we speak the best English, the best, I mean, French, the best Portuguese. But at the end of the day, we are not the owners of the language. And you see, that is what Nelson Mandela said. If you talk to a man in a language he understands, it goes to the head. But if he talks to a man in his own language, it sticks to the heart. What do you think about this video? How Africans, we are judging our own selves based on foreign language, how we speak the foreign language. I mean, this is my opinion on this video. What is your opinion? Ladies and gentlemen, this is where I draw the curtains of today's episode down. Thank you. Until we meet again. This is Studio 6. Make sure you subscribe, like, comment, and share. I'm out.